to the dark case files.
The following story is based on real case files and historical evidence. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rain lashed against the windows of Dr. George Hill's mansion as Detective Raaz moved through the sterile rooms. Every corner gleamed with surgical precision: white tiles, steel tables, the faint metallic scent of disinfectant.
It wasn't a home. It was a laboratory disguised as luxury. In the basement, under a single hanging bulb, Raaz found what he feared. Photographs pinned to a corkboard, each of women identical to Elizabeth Short. Some were crossed out in red ink. Others had notes scribbled in Latin. Perfection in division. Symmetry of flesh. Raaz felt a chill snake up his spine. Upstairs, he discovered a diary locked inside a mahogany drawer. The first page read, "To recreate beauty, one must first understand its destruction." Before he could search further, footsteps echoed behind him. A shadow darted past the hallway mirror. Then the back door slammed open. Whoever was in the house was gone, leaving only the echo of rain and the faint smell of chloroform. At dawn, LAPD surrounded the property. No blood, no trace, only a single scalpel resting on the counter. Breath. Raaz stared at it, knowing this wasn't over. Hollywood was full of masks, and the man wearing the doctor's face was still out there. Raaz spent the next days digging through Elizabeth's past. Boston to Santa Barbara to Los Angeles. There was a pattern everywhere. Men of influence, broken promises, and that same smile which had now become permanently fixed on her face. At a small diner, an old bartender remembered her. Soft breath. She said she was meeting a doctor. He told Raaz. Cosmetic surgery. The Hollywood trap for those who dream too big and trust too fast. He traced Dr. Hill's records to the Sunview Medical Institute, a private facility for reconstructive research. Hill's license had been revoked a year earlier for unethical experiments. Yet somehow he kept working under aliases. In one patient's chart, Raaz found a note signed E.S. Elizabeth Short. Maybe she thought it was just another Hollywood transformation. Sigh. But something went wrong. Horribly wrong. Back at the precinct, Raaz pinned Hill's photo beside Elizabeth's. Their smiles matched, a twisted connection between creator and creation. Q**, Dana low breath after creation. Oh, you think he loved her? Small breath. Raaz shook his head. No, he said. He worshipped her, and then he perfected her, his way. That night, Jack Cleary showed up at Raaz's office, trench coat dripping from the rain. You need to see this, he said, sliding a photo across the desk. It showed a surgical theater, clean, precise, and in the corner, barely visible Elizabeth's face. Where did you get this? Raaz demanded. From a contact in the Examiner's archives, Jack replied. Someone's been sending these since the murder, but the editors buried them. Too dangerous. Raaz studied the photo. He documented it, Raaz whispered. Her death was a performance. Jack nodded grimly, and the audience was us. Hill wasn't just a killer. He was composing something. A statement about beauty, fame, and decay. As thunder rolled outside, Raaz made his decision. We end this, he said, loading his revolver. You can't fight a ghost, detective. Raaz's eyes darkened. Soft breath. Then I'll drag him out of the shadows.
Detective Malcolm Raaz stood in Dr. George Hill's immaculate mansion, its white walls gleaming like the inside of a coffin. The air smelled of antiseptic and rot, a perfect metaphor for Los Angeles itself. Surgical instruments lay neatly arranged as though waiting for their next victim. When Officer Harris called him upstairs, Raaz found a photograph pinned above a steel table. Elizabeth Short, alive, smiling in a hospital gown. Beneath it, a note read, "Perfection requires precision." It wasn't just murder, it was art, through mutilation. Back at the precinct, Reyes uncovered Hill's past, a disgraced surgeon obsessed with the geometry of beauty. Among his files lay evidence of what he called his human canvas project. Elizabeth's name appeared more than once, tied to procedures meant to immortalize her beauty. Reyes realized she hadn't just been killed, she had been crafted. Her death wasn't spontaneous. It was a performance staged by a man who saw himself as an artist, and Elizabeth as his masterpiece. Rain fell hard against the city as Reyes pieced together her life, the hopeful letters to her mother, the desperate search for stardom. The nights spent chasing fame's flickering light. That's when a woman named Clara appeared at his door, trembling, drenched, and afraid. She confessed that she and Elizabeth had worked together at a nightclub. Elizabeth had been terrified of a doctor who promised to make her beautiful forever. The night she vanished, she'd gone to confront him. Days later, the LAPD crime lab discovered a film reel from Hill's basement. Shaky black and white footage of Elizabeth. Nervous and smiling, Hill's voice murmured. Dana whispers, "You'll be eternal." Reyes couldn't watch to the end. He ordered every trace of Hill's life dragged into daylight. The hunt consumed him, turning the detective into a ghost, haunting the city's alleys. Every clue whispered the same truth. Beauty, fame, and death shared the same reflection in Hollywood's mirror. At last, the chase led Reyes to an abandoned observatory above the hills, its dome gleaming like a skull in the fog. Inside, Dr. Hill waited, calm, smiling, the projector casting Elizabeth's face across the cracked walls. "You've come to admire my work," he said, stepping into the flickering light. To him, this wasn't murder, but legacy. "This city worships beauty," Hill whispered. "I only preserved it." The confrontation erupted into violence. A scalpel flashed, a gun fired. Hill fell with a faint, twisted smile. The papers later called him the Surgeon of Shadows, but Reyes felt no victory. Staring at Elizabeth's photo, he realized the truth. Los Angeles hadn't killed just one dreamer. It devoured hundreds like her. And as the city lights flickered below, he whispered into the silence. Dana breathed. Did I end it? Or just add another story to the darkness?
The morning after Dr. Hill's apparent death, Los Angeles breathed a temporary sigh of relief, but Detective Malcolm Reyes could not. He sat in his apartment, curtains drawn, cigarette smoke curling around him, the air thick with whiskey and rain-soaked dust. Hill's chilling words echoed relentlessly. Dana whisper, "You'll remember her forever." Elizabeth's face haunted him. The real, bright, hopeful smile before the city had shattered her. Days later, as he drove through fog-laden streets, a fleeting glimpse of a woman with dark curls and a black coat made his heart seize. She smiled at him and vanished into the mist, leaving behind only a crushed Black Dahlia on the wet pavement. A silent message that the story was far from over. The city slept again, unaware that beauty and death still shared the same reflection. Reyes soon uncovered that the truth was darker than he imagined. Hill's chilling words echoed relentlessly. Dana whisper, "You'll remember her forever." The trail led him to a colonial house on Crescent Drive, where Clara, Elizabeth's friend and Hill's apprentice, awaited. She revealed the horrifying continuation of Hill's legacy. Perfection could be transferred. Beauty could live through another. When Reyes confronted her, a violent struggle erupted, ending with a gunshot tearing through her shoulder. Amidst broken glass, blood, and her eerie laughter, Dana laughing softly, Clara confessed that Hill's vision would continue, that beauty never dies. Reyes discovered a tape in the wreckage, Hill's calm voice admitting his plan to live on through those who understood his work. Yet the city moved on oblivious, while Reyes remained trapped in the shadows of memory. He saw Elizabeth everywhere. Reflections, crowds, rain-slicked streets. Then came a mysterious photograph, with a message scrawled, Dana whisper. That night, at the Norton Avenue field where Reyes knelt on the grass, placing a soft voice whispered thanks. Dana on his car windshield, freshly written in, the Black Dahlia had transcended her death. And in Los Angeles, as long as beauty...
This file is closed. But some questions will never be answered.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dark tales.